think it's a message that needs to be heard, please do your part and share the show. We get shadow banned, we get traffic blocks, we get the worst parts of the censorship issue going on in this country. And without you guys sharing the show, people don't hear it. So, don't be a hoe. All right.
What's going on, brother?
No, not much.
Yeah, question. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
I don't know, man. I think if we knew that answer, it wouldn't be the question. We wouldn't have heard that question a million times.
Yeah, well, it's a metaphor, right? Because we've all seen this, right? This post right here, it was shared around maybe a couple of months ago. I know we talked about it on the prior CTI, right? Where it shows like, they do something, comes out about Biden, and then they hammer Trump.
Right? Yeah, the next day.
The very next day, right? It's a very interesting thing. So, how do you think, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Because they did it again.
Oh, they did?
And then again, yeah. So, I don't know if you guys seen this, but so there was a win for Trump, right? This headline reads, New York judge lifts Trump gag order in civil fraud trial over free speech concerns. As they should, right? Because, it was completely unconstitutional, right? A New York judge has lifted the gag order imposed on former President Donald Trump in his civil fraud trial stemming from State Attorney General Letitia James' lawsuit against him and the Trump Organization. Citing concerns over free speech, appeals court judge David Friedman issued a stay on the order Thursday, which was put in place by Judge Arthur Engoron in October. Engoron, who's overseeing Trump's trial, imposed a partial gag order to block all parties from making derogatory statements about his court staff. The one staffer that was, allegedly messing around with Schumer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that happens, right? So it gets lifted. That's a great win. It's a big win for First Amendment rights. It's cool. But then the egg came, or the chicken. I don't know which one. That classified docs thing that Biden did, which was, equivalent to the same thing as Trump did. Yeah, he just got off on all those charges.
Well, did they charge Trump with that though?
Yeah.
Is it still ongoing?
Yeah, that's what the shit is going on with the David Trump prosecutor for that case. So he's got like 4 separate cases going on at once. And like the biggest thing in that case with Trump is like he was
ruined this guy before the election. I think people are starting to see it. Even if they don't like Trump, they're able to see it. And it's dangerous because a lot of people see it and not saying anything, or they think it's okay because it's working in their benefit right now. But the reality is what I worry about is that it's setting a precedent for the pendulum to come from the other direction next time. And eventually when we deal with these two extremes, right, this extreme left and this extreme right, and it goes back and forth, this is eventually how genocides happen. And this is how, wars happen and civil wars and conflicts. And, it's something that I've been talking about for years. Position now where the Democrats are being lumped in with leftists, and Democrats are typically capitalists, leftists, and communists who are progressive, and these are the people who are corrupting society at the highest level. And so, these people who are making these decisions at a high level to implement all of these things, right? Those are the people that need to be held accountable, not an entire political ideology side, unless it's communist. And real talk, that's how I feel. Communists should not be allowed to exist in America at all.
Back, it's funny you say that. Did you see that video of Michael Rappaport tonight?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. That guy told me they cannot understand that there was consequences to your vote that affect you.
Consequences to your vote.
Okay, when things are good, everybody wants to talk about all these abstract concepts that don't affect us in a daily life. It's above the line issues and below the line issues. And all these people, this guy included, were talking all this bullshit about this fake racism, about, Charlottesville and all these made up Russia collusion, all this shit, right? Without ever considering that, dude, these progressive leftists will destroy the country. We're not doing well anymore. Super intelligent because of the system that was created to create good little worker bees, good little robots. Said you're a good little robot. Right. And they come out and they think they're more intelligent than you.
Bro, all you did was keg stands every week.
Bro, and not only that, you follow directions enough to get a word of piece of paper. You didn't question anything. You didn't think about anything. You didn't have any critical, like, thinking exercises or discussions. You did what you're told. That's what a degree is for.
Yeah, dude.
So,
dumb people think they're smart. Some people don't think they're smart.
dude, I don't know, man. Like, I think there's a definitive IQ difference. There's a lot of people who believe that they're.
I thought this was Hong Kong or something at first.
Now, if it was Hong Kong, the buildings would be nicer. That's a fact. It's true.
It's true.
It's a disturbing image, bro.
Who puts this shit together? Like, who? I want to go to the people on the streets, bro.
That's why everybody's leaving.
What are ready to do?
Bro, it's impossible the way they're taxing people there. I mean, the exodus from California has been the greatest exodus of any state in any time in history in the United States history. And they're talking about putting this guy for president. His track record is literally shit. Like, what are we talking about here? And dude, here's the problem. That Michael Rappaport guy, they make Gavin Newsom the president candidate, he'll vote for him. He's leading them back. Why are you afraid to speak up back to them? They will bully you into the earth. So bully them back. That's what we need. You need to stand up, speak up, and use your voice relentlessly, unless you want the next time this motherfucker comes to the United States, he'll actually be the president. You know, this is ridiculous, dude. They're flying Chinese flags up and down the street. This guy should come here. He should never see a Chinese flag. There should be 50,000 motherfucking troops standing right there in his face to intimidate the fuck out of him, to let him know, like, bro, we'll fucking kill you right here if you run him out.
Sneeze too much.
Yeah. Like, bro, this should be a very uncomfortable place for him to come. Very uncomfortable.
We're rolling out the red carpet.
Yeah, sucking his fucking dick. They probably got him the best prostitutes in California to just visit his hotel room. Like, it's insane, dude.
That's what you guys think.
While they understand this cultural reality of working, the younger people don't. And dude, if they don't figure it out, we're in deep shit. And how I see this going, you know, these people have been groomed and indoctrinated. I think the plan has been laid out much longer than what anybody realizes. And I think they've known about what they're going to do with AI and what they're going to do with automation and what they're going to do with technology for many, 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 many years. And the grooming of this younger generation to be more so, I don't want to work, I don't believe in work, I don't believe in capitalism, I don't believe in hard work equals results or investing my time. I believe that's intentional, because what they're going to do now is they're going to say, well, by the way, everything's automated and there's no jobs, so here's your little government check to live your life in your utopia, except that government check's going to be like every other failed communist experiment that's ever happened. That government check's going to be so fucking little, the universal basic income is going to be so little that everybody's going to starve. And because there's no capitalistic environment inside the economy, there's nobody actually pushing to type government system. And I think everything that we've seen for the last number of years has been the big moves to move us in that direction rather quick.
Proof of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Guys, I just want to say thank you for being Real Life fans. Make sure you keep liking, commenting. Make sure you subscribe as well, and keep being Real Life fans. So with that being said, man, let's move ahead to number 2. This is an interesting one. And I don't really understand the move behind this. Maybe you can shed some light on this one. But Facebook, Instagram will now allow political ads that claim the 2020 election was stolen. I don't like.
Well, I mean, it was. I mean, I don't think. I think anybody who has a ability to critically think at this point in time can identify the deception and the cover-up that's been going on around this issue, the January 6th issue included. You know, where there's smoke, there's fire. And when you
but the future ones, no. The current ones, there's no possible way those can be stolen. Can we talk about them after they happen?
Yeah. Look, man, I think this is kind of weird, because look how this is written, right? The policy means that Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, will be able to directly profit from political ads that boost false claims about the legitimacy of the 2020 election. Okay, well, what this shows to me when I read this is a separation from the mainstream media and social media, kind of breaking apart. All right, because CNN is clearly still saying, false claims, where Meta is clearly saying, well, we don't know, right?
I don't think they were that false.
Yeah, so it's interesting for that.
It's like a chick with the Adam's apple.
But here's
Mike.
Yeah, no shit. But here's something to think about too, is if Trump's going around and these other candidates are going around talking about the presidential race being rigged in ads, okay? Well, there's a couple things about that. One, he's going to have problems raising money. Like if he's talking about the election's rigged, like why would you give this guy money if the election's already rigged and the outcome's decided?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And then also, if we go around and which I believe they are rigged in certain areas for sure. But if we go around and talk about that being the problem, that sort of demoralizes people from voting. Like there's a lot of people out here that are like, dude, what difference does it make if I vote or not? And that's what happened, in Venezuela. That's what's happened in these communist revolutions over the last.
That's what they want you to do.
Yeah, exactly. And so, part of me thinks this is propaganda. They're allowing the propaganda intentionally to demoralize people from voting. So, like, get what I'm saying? Like, Meta's saying, okay, yeah, let them talk about it because all that's going to do is demoralize the people in the center and the right from actually believing that they should vote.
And on top of that, when you have these articles that CNN was putting out saying the election is completely secure, now there's this fog of confusion.
Correct.
And like people are like, okay, no, it's definitely correct. They're saying, the opposite is true, right? Like, yeah, that's a great.
And you have all these people, these influencers out here saying, your vote doesn't matter, don't buy into the system, I'm not going to vote. Bro, y'all are fucking idiots. Like, how are we going to catch them cheating if we don't know what the true numbers are? So, like, even if you thought the election was rigged, you still have a duty to go vote for the evidence aspect of how, because we can look back at that later potentially and say, okay, actually, this is the real outcome of the election, and if people choose to not vote, we don't have that evidence, and then they win by default. So, and that could go for either side. So it's super important that people understand that you have to vote, whether you believe that the election is real or not real or compromised or however you believe, you have to choose the best candidate that you think is going to create the best life for us here, and specifically you here in America. That's the obligation for us going to vote. And it's weird to me how people who I've thought were quote unquote intelligent are now talking about how if Trump's the candidate, they're not going to vote. So you're not going to vote because you don't like Trump, but you agree that the world's totally, and you're just going to allow it to get worse and worse and worse.
It goes back to my last.
Because you like DeSantis or you like Vivek or you like whoever. Like, bro, everybody who thinks that Vivek is the guy or DeSantis is the guy, if Trump ends up being the guy, you have an obligation to vote for that man. Because otherwise the country's going to fucking burn.
Be a loss.
Yeah. I mean, dude, we're going to, 4 more years of what's going on now, there will be no America. Like that I'm 100% confident in that. I'm 100% confident. They will arrest what they're doing to Trump. They will do to every single person who voted for him. They will ostracize. If you thought like what they did with the vaccine was bad, where they started like pushing people out of the workforce, dude, this next 4 years for anybody that speaks out against those people, for anybody that voted in the opposite direction, bro, they're going to persecute them relentlessly. They're going to take everything away from you. And for people like me and you and other people who are speaking up with a microphone, they put those people in jail or kill them. That's what they do. And that's where we're at. People have to recognize what we're actually dealing with here. This is not normal ebbs and flows of political discourse. This is a communist revolution that we are many years into. And we have very little chance of stopping it unless we unite and get really fucking smart. You know, I think a lot of people are underestimating what's actually going on. You know, they talk about like, oh yeah, man, it's not as bad as you think. What are you talking about? It's not as bad as I think. We have a literal invasion happening at the southern border. We have our strategic oil supply is gone. We have our military supplies in Europe. We have crime at one of the highest rates it's ever been. We have credit card defaults at the highest rate they've ever been. We have mortgage defaults close to the highest rate that they've been in a long time. We have an economy that's on the verge of potentially hyperinflation or total collapse. Okay, we have a pending world war with a military that's filled like legitimately with fucking, you know, people who have been held to a standard that is less than what it takes to go fight a war. You know what I'm saying? Like to like thinking that we're like 2001 United States right now is a fatal idea. Like thinking
We're more divided than
bro, listen, when you run a